Revolutionary Era Advantages and Disadvantages of Great Britain and American Colonies. Battles fought. April 19, 1775, the Battle of Lexington occurred in Lexington, Massachusetts. On May 10, 1775, the Battle of Fort Ticonderoga occurred in northeastern New York. On June 17, 1775, the Battle of Bunker Hill occurred in Massachusetts. On January 17, 1781, the Battle of Cowpens occurred in South Carolina. On June 27th through June 28th, the Battle of Monmouth occurred in New Jersey. And on October 7th, 1777, the Battle of Saratoga ended.
Some British advantages were that they had more population, and with more population, there came more soldiers. Another one is they had the strongest naval power. They had ships that could raid American resource ships. They were rich. That means they could buy weapons, resources, men. They had a well trained army. Their army was strong and okay, and many colonists remained loyal. So colonists would give supply and men to the British to fight the war. Some British advantages were that the government was poorly led by George III. He was naive. There were communication problems because the war was going 3,000 miles away. So the news would reach the army in a long time, and there were some worries and conflicts with Ireland and France, and there was no important location for British army to attack in the American colonies.
The American colonies' advantages were the leadership skills that they had during the Revolutionary War, which was George Washington, Ben Franklin, and Robert Morris. George Washington valued the people he led rather than thinking of them as means to an end. He stuck by his soldiers and respected and cared for them. Robert Morris was a genius in economics and basically saved their economy, I guess. And Ben Franklin guided the colonies as they developed into a nation and helped to secure crucial French support for the American Revolution. Another advantage was they had to fight defensively, basically, because the war was on the American colonies' land, and they had a clear purpose for fighting because the British Parliament went against their unalienable rights, the Intolerable Acts, and other battles that occurred before the Revolutionary War. And they had to wear the British out since there was no key city for Britain to go to fight for the Revolutionary War. They just had to get as many soldiers as they can possible to wear them out on the land they were fighting at. And the American disadvantages were that their government was badly organized and they had a badly organized army. Basically, since they were just colonies, they didn't really have a developed government yet, so it's hard for them to make executive decisions. And um, they had lack of resources for war. They had no weapons to fight back with, no money, no to buy it with, no food or water. Their armies were small and poorly trained because since they were just colonies again, they were very small and they had no one to train them and teach them to fight back with, and they distressed Southerners since the Southerners were with the British. They supported them. They thought that the Southerners would go against them and fight with the British as the Revolutionary War started. And they had no navy, because since they were just colonies, they had no access to ships, and because had small armies.